Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you again to the Raw Spill, where we keep it real with the hard truth. Um, we want to get started. We have on the phone line again helping me host the show. We have Pastor Bolden out of Bolivar, Tennessee. He's the pastor of God's Truth and Deliverance Ministry. How everything going your way?
Everything's going fine. How are you doing today?
Doing all right, doing all right. Hey, we go, we go get right to business here. As you can see, the title is called the Real Family Feud. As you know, all I could say, sometimes family could be something else. You know, sometimes one thing I can't seem to wrap my head around. I'm sort of, and the number to dial is 941-745-1490, 941-745-1490. If you want to get on the air, and info at therawspill.com is the email address. Info at therawspill.com is the email address if you want to email the show. And again, the topic is the real family feud, and this is something I can't seem to wrap my head around. You know, is the arguing and bickering that goes on in family. For example, like you have, I don't understand how people can be so mean to their sisters and brothers' children. That's something I just can't seem to wrap my head around. Don't y'all realize that those your niece and nephew that's like an extension
Mhm.
of your sister and brother. So I don't understand how in the world can you just be so mean and just so and then just so hateful to them.
Mhm.
Now to me you now you got a problem with your sister's daughter. You got a problem with your brother's son or daughter. Deep down inside, to a certain extent, you have a problem with your sister and brother.
Mhm.
It 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 has been. I'm not saying that's the case 100% of the time, but no. What did they? What the little 7, 8 year old ever do to you?
Mhm.
Well, why are y'all just so mean and hateful to the offsprings of your sister and brother?
Mhm.
I don't care. I mean, y'all could. It's just amazing. You may be able to talk on the phone every day. Um, you might be in business with each other. You talk to your sister, talk to your brother, no 6 hours straight on the phone. Then at the same time, talk about how your sister's son ain't gonna be nothing.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, say how your brother's son, your brother's daughter, not gonna amount to a dime.
Mhm.
So so if you think about the issue, not really with them, you got some kind of I don't know jealousy or something going on there
Mhm.
with your sister and brother.
Mhm.
If you can constantly bash their child,
Mhm.
and it's a shame that's going on in the family, and that goes on even in the Bible days with Cain and Abel.
Mhm.
I know y'all don't know the story. God accepted Abel's sacrifice, and he didn't. He was telling Cain, if Cain would have done what's right, he could accept his. But what happened? Cain got jealous, and what that jealousy leads to? It leads to rage, leads to anger, and what he do to Abel? He killed him.
Mhm.
He murdered. So I don't want y'all. I don't think that can't happen today.
Mhm.
Now don't y'all get the point. Oh man, Oh man, that's my brother. Now we tight. He'll never do nothing like that. Oh, that's my sister. No, we real tight. That'll never happen. Now, don't be so quick to say that. You're not above that. So so to me, I need somebody to call in and help me out, help me understand this here. How in the world, what did that what did your niece and nephew ever do to you?
Mm-hmm.
They go down from generations. You got a problem with your sister. You got a problem with your brother,
Mm-hmm.
but you're taking it out on their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let your sister and brother have grandchildren of their own. Now that's another generation
Mm-hmm.
you're taking it out on.
Mm-hmm.
So folks, that's I don't know. That's where I pass the bone here. Maybe help us understand. That's just something I can never seem to wrap my head around. What
Mm-hmm.
how in the world how in the world could you be just so hateful? I don't. You could be 20 or 30 years older than your niece and nephew, or older, no, 20 or 30 years older than your brother and sister kids. But they sense that stuff. They can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And I got news for you, baby boomers. This up and coming generation ain't tolerating that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not justifying some. I'm not justifying their behavior, some of their disrespect. I'm not saying all of them. I know some of these. I heard it with my own ears. They're not tolerating that foolishness. Now,
Mm-hmm.
no, if you ain't if you don't know by now, then now you know. You've been warned.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on. The sad part about it is this. Sometimes it's the Christians who people say that they are Christians.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the mistreatment. And that's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you take it over from here. They have something. The Republican Party has something called the Rhino Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
and RINO, Republican in name only.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the thing about that, the Republicans they have certain beliefs. Smaller government, they know less government intrusion on you. They're big on family, pro life, um, maybe taxes, lower taxes, things of that nature. Now, when the Republicans start speaking, and you get a Republican talking about raising taxes or justifying abortion, like wait a minute now, yeah, he's Republican. That's a rhino.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Republican by name only.
Mm-hmm.
And man, maybe do some of these Christians. Maybe call some of these Christians C nodes, Christian in name only.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why today, you hear people today saying, "Man, I'm not a Christian no more. I'm not a Christian. I don't." Now they say that they when they say that they still fear God. They still love Jesus. They believe that Bible. But just being called Christian, but after seeing and what they have seen and experienced from people who call themselves that, they don't want nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm.
So so maybe Pastor Bowlen or somebody call his number and tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, me personally, I believe it's one of Newton's laws, the law of energy. The idea that energy is only transferred, is never dissolved, that is actually just transferred. And I feel like a lot of times when, what we're talking about today, how you can have siblings uh, um, being bitter towards their nieces and nephews, to me, it really just goes to this idea of that this is the next generation and this is the next generation that I'm going to make war with. If you remember, even in the Bible, there were times when people went to war, and when they went to war, they didn't just kill the warriors, the men who they were fighting against. They killed the children as well. And the idea was, if we don't kill the children, then they're going to grow up and they're going to become grown men, and they're going to make come and make war with us for killing their daddies. And so that's also what I see going on in in what we're talking about today, how a sibling might actually have an issue with their own sibling, but because maybe the sibling who's the target don't let stuff get to them, then the best way I can hurt you is through getting to your children and by being mean spirited towards your children, which is their own nieces and nephews
Yeah.
and things like that. And so I think that's what takes place. And I think it's a shame that it happens that way. But I think a lot of this stems from um, unresolved issues. Even back in the case you mentioned with Cain and Abel. Uh, Cain was jealous of Abel because his works was unrighteous and Abel's works were righteous. And so instead of him just changing and doing what he was supposed to do as as I guess as one of Adam's sons, he didn't do that. He just preferred to kill Abel instead of Cain just straightening up. And so to me, I guess the way I see that is concerning the parents. Sometimes parents have favorites. Sometimes it can even look like the parents have favorites, which that might not even be the case. It could just be one child is acting up and another child is not. And so it can appear that the parent have a favorite. And people never grow out of that. They grow up and claim to be the black sheep of the family, when really they were just
Hmm.
misbehaving and cutting up and acting a fool at all of the family gatherings. And so from that, they can start taking it out on the nieces and nephews versus dealing with the real issue at hand, which is their own sense of rejection and things like that. And so I think a lot of that plays into that. And to me, it's a shame when grown folks pull children into a rivalry or into some kind of bitterness or into some kind of war that children don't know anything about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we have a caller on there. He still on there? Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Jermaine calling from Leesville, Louisiana.
Hey, how you doing there? Hey, hey, good. All right. What you got something you want to add to this conversation here?
Not just yet. I'm still moving around and about to hit off in this store, so I won't be making too much noise. But I'm gonna get back on because I gotta mute it real quick.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
But I definitely will say something. I don't want to be with too much noise though.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. We understand.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, same thing with Jacob and Esau.
Hmm.
They, no, I think God told Rebecca, no, they was battling in the room. They was in the room battling.
Hmm.
And y'all all know the story. Esau was born first, no, but no, Jacob was hanging on to his ankle.
Hmm.
And and seeing all the scheme Jacob and Rebecca came up with, convinced Jacob to, deceive Isaac. Well, first of all, he got the birthright from Esau, and then he fooled his father. Jacob fooled his father to have him thinking that was Esau.
Hmm.
That, I don't know. Like I said, this ain't nothing new. That's that jealousy.
Hmm.
You want something that don't belong to you.
Hmm.
And a story when Esau caught wind of it, he wanted to kill Jacob.
Hmm.
That's Jacob had to go out of town because if he, hey, if he don't, he like I said, Esau was, Esau was hurt by what was done,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all see that. So sibling rivalries, it goes way back,
Mm-hmm.
and and, and even with death touches the family. You know that now you might get you'll get temporary unity there.
Mm.
You know when some of that it never fails. When somebody passes on, you're going to get temporary peace. You go hear from people whom you haven't heard from in I don't know how long. Everybody come out the woodworks then.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to be loving. Everybody want to be kind. Everybody want to be compassion. When death come knocking on the door. But how about before that?
Mm-hmm.
You know why does it take death? And and again, like I said, that's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
That that's temporary. They grieve a little bit, and then before you know it, y'all, they back to fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They go on to war. And I know for something recently, I personally know someone that passed just last year. Now I knew his wishes when he passed, but got his greedy nieces and nephews. They no, they didn't honor that wish. The man was on his deathbed. He ain't even died yet. They pretty much cleaned his house out.
Mm.
Got it. They took everything out of there. Nothing in there. Man left everything. Man just left a bedroom set. And that's it. And they haven't really had anything to do with this guy, but they seen he was on his deathbed. I guess they seen that was he had a whole lot of money there.
Mm.
And when and the crazy part about it, the the um the hospital was getting ready to release him, and for some reason the family dispersed. They were nowhere around to pick him up and carry him home. And now
Mm.
some time later, okay, I understand why they cleaned the man's house out,
Mm.
and he was still living. You know, I but no, sometime later he did pass on. But I'll tell you that even through death, people really show who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, we got a caller back on here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This Jermaine from Leesville.
Oh, okay.
I got knocked off.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. Go ahead. What's your comment?
Well, like you say, even on the deathbed, like just like even on the part that I did catch on to, and I apologize for my tardiness, but when you start talking about that death, I mean that jealousy thing, as cruel as the grave, and just how you never know, like people envy you, and it actually leads to death. I know that, like it can lead there, and I know that sometimes some people they're not jealous of you. They just don't want you to have it, and it's so bad. But that don't represent that Christ like. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just speaking on what I was hearing. Like that don't represent that Christ like image that we should be living in. We should have it in the body of Christ. Now correct me if I'm going left, cause I'm just jumping in. But in the body of Christ, we should have that. It has no room for no competition. Everything is equal when it comes down. Everybody is important. We have no room for jealousy. And if it's something that you see somebody else doing you will like, or you have a passion for that, you ask God. We have no business getting mad and envying somebody to the point to where we having headaches also. wanting to physically hurt somebody. That don't represent God. But
Right,
it's a
right.
shame that people will get like that. And I remember talking to my grandfather and telling him, I said, well, Grandpa, I don't understand people that do that type of stuff because you got the same two hands, you got the same 2 feet, you got the same amount of hours in a day as me. But some people, that's just in them. Just in them. But that's all. That's all I say right now.
Oh, man, we appreciate the call. And again, y'all, YouTube, I do apologize. Y'all can't hear the call on YouTube. I still ain't got that figured out yet. But 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 yeah, that's yeah, you're right. People don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you do well at all. And that's sad part about it. It I hate to keep saying that most of the time it is the Christian folks, the one that been born again. They get the on Sunday, they get to shouting, they knocking over benches. It can take like 4 or 5 people got to form a circle around the whole hands to contain them. And Monday morning, they on the phone with their sister and brother, like everything's fine. Then sometimes they'll tell you, man, they're some of them so bold they really tell their sister and brother what they think about their kids. Your daughter ain't gonna make it. Your son ain't gonna be nothing.
And I wanna, if you don't mind, could I insert something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Cause I wanna insert something, but it's in a question form. I guess it don't have to be answered right off, but it's in a question form. And that question is, could that be a reason why people in the church are I could say body of Christ could that be a reason why some people's hope or their faith is not as big as it should be, or could that be a reason why I'm trying to use the right words. Could that be a reason why some people aren't as close to God as they should be, or could that be a reason why some people not getting what God wants them to have, being, sometimes we get so caught up in trying to follow the messenger. We trying to follow man and not follow God. We're not following the one that's giving the instructions. Sometimes we look to man, for so much, and we tend to forget that we're supposed to be serving God and not man. And with me saying that, to say this on how you say sometimes it be the Christian folks. They'll be the ones that talk bad about you or this, that, and the third. Well, those are the so-called, like you said, so-called Christian folks.
Mm-hmm.
But could that be a reason, how they act with some people? Could that be a reason why some people, I was one to say, and it wasn't right that I said it until I got my understanding and got my own relationship with Christ. I was one of the ones that said, like, hey, if being like Christ or being a Christian is like this, I don't want to be a Christian. And I said it, and I meant it before, but that's only, Harold, because I was looking at the person and not looking at God. And I just wanted to throw that out there. I know it comes with spiritual maturity, but at the same time, sometimes, you can have people in position if you're not being fully led by God. It's a scripture in the Bible that speaks about if you're not gathering, you're scattering. So if you're not being fully led by God and you operating up under jealousy and all that other stuff, I'm going to put God to the side today and I'm going to tell so-and-so about them kids because I'm tired of them chewing that bubble gum and sticking them to the back of them seats. So I'm going to tell them, hey, sometimes could we be getting in the way of God? And I just wanted to throw that out there, though,
Oh yeah, you made some good points. You want to tackle that, Pastor?
Yeah, I think that we can get in the way of God, concerning how people view being a Christian, and I sincerely believe that we can be a stumbling block to people if we're not careful, which is why the Lord lets us know that it's better for us that a millstone is hung about our neck and we drown in the depth of the sea than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. In other words, to cause one of them to offend them. But here's what I also say to that. Um, we also have to give people room to grow as well. People come in, sometimes they don't know any better, and I also believe people need to be taught better, you know, concerning how to behave, because unfortunately, jealousy is something that runs rampant among people, and they sometimes people come to the Lord and they still dealing with cattiness and jealousy, and they act out, and things like that. And I think it's up to the preachers to really try to shut that down and calm that in the churches, But sometimes preachers don't want to offend people, and they don't want to, you know, uh, I guess hurt people's feelings. But I think that, I think a pastor that God sends will see that kind of thing and try to help people come out of that, But unfortunately, that is among people in church. The jealousy, the envy, the strife, and all of those things. And you really have to get down to what the real issue is, And sometimes the real issue is people, when people don't like themselves and they are disappointed in themselves, they're not going to hardly say that. What they will
Mhm.
do is look at what somebody else have and try to tear that down.
Oh yeah.
What they say, misery loves company.
Hmm.
Yes, it do. Yes, 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 it does, man. Yeah, again, yeah, it's jealousy. Like I said, it may not be 100% of the reason why, they attack their sister and brother's kids, but maybe they just flat out bitter. Like you said,
Hmm.
they don't like their life.
Hmm.
So I don't know, y'all.
Hey, Harold, can I say something real quick? I'm just thinking, man.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, it might not be all jealousy, but if you kind of break it down, and just like I said, I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
Yeah.
When you kind of think about it, you can kind of all point it down to jealousy because, like, we are, we're in the flesh. That spirit you're talking about, the devil, man. The devil, he like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour, and he gonna use whoever allowed them to use. He allow him to use them. So with that being said, when he's using someone and they don't know that he's using them, he's gonna use someone to try to tear another person down. And if Uncle Fred always taught us, like, man, if the devil already got you, he ain't messing with you. If the devil ain't messing with you, that means he got you already. So he
Mm-hmm.
gonna use for somebody else. That spirit gonna get in somebody to try to throw you off target. He gonna use you, but when he uses you, I mean, you gonna get punished for what you did, allowing them to use you. But just back to that jealousy spirit, if that devil is using somebody to try to get somebody out of character or to get them out of line with where they supposed to be in Christ, I would look at that as jealousy, from the devil, because he don't want us getting what God has for us. He don't want us to see us make it to where he once was. So I would look
Hmm.
at that. So they call them haters and all of that, but we actually could, kind of tie it back to jealousy because he's doing whatever he can to get us to come down there with him.
Hmm.
And we have a chance. He don't. So I look at that, when he uses somebody to try to get us out of order, the jealous spirit. He don't want us to get what God got for us. But I'm just thinking out loud, though.
Oh yeah. Jermaine, yeah, but Jermaine, I sure appreciate you calling in the show. We really well, like I said, appreciate you again for calling. We're glad you was able to call in and chime in on this subject.
Yeah, I want to just say something to what he was just saying. When you're talking about jealousy, for you have to have something else at play for jealousy to be there. And so, for instance, and just speaking on what we're talking about concerning, the bitterness towards family members and things like that. For me to be jealous of the car you got, or that you've been blessed with, or the life that you have, that would have to mean that I don't think much of what I've been blessed with. And so what it boils down to is me feeling like I'm insufficient some kind of way. Some kind of way I'm lacking, And so when you have and so to me, what it all boils down to is a person not being happy with themselves. And when they're not happy with themselves, it's going to come out in different ways. It's going to come out in anger towards the siblings. It's going to come out in anger towards the children of, the offspring of the sibling. I mean, it comes out in all kind of ways. The Bible tells us the Lord spoke, and he quoted Micah in saying that a man's foe shall be that of his own household. And that is the truth. That is the truth. A man's foes shall be those of his own household. And I think it's a sad thing that we live in a day where people can be jealous of each other. I've even seen, Brother Harold, and the bitterness there. I've even seen where a wife could be have an issue with her husband's authority, wanting the same authority. And so and that in and of itself could cause family a rift, in between husband and wife. you know, because the husband sometimes, most of the time, he's making decisions where he don't have to run it by his wife and get her approval, and she may feel like, well, why is it that you get to do what you want to do and I can't? You see, and so jealousy and rivalry and things like that, it comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions.
And that number again, y'all, 941-745-1490. 941-745-1490. If you want to call the show, give your input, and also the email address is info@therawspiel.com. That's info@therawspiel.com. And again, we're thankful for the caller from Leesville for calling in. Sir, we do appreciate you calling in, and don't let that be your last time. Yes, indeed, y'all. Yeah, there's this. I don't know if it might get to the point where you might have to corner some family members and say, hey, what what did my daddy ever do to you?
Mm-hmm.
For you to, I always I notice how you've been, you always look down on me, my sisters, and my brothers, and my other cousins, you hold them on such a high pedestal. What
Mm-hmm.
did daddy do something to you when y'all was younger? I mean, what did my mom ever do to you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have was there a boy that you liked, but he was eyeballing mom instead? That what happened?
Yeah.
Or oh, you don't like that you don't like she married my daddy. You don't like my daddy. Well, I mean, what's going on? Could you tell? Could you break it down?
Mm-hmm.
And some of you might have to look at your grandparents too.
Mm-hmm.
You might have to I don't know some I don't know sometimes they may be a little mean to their own grandkids, and you might ask grandma and grandpa, hey, what did I do something to you? Well, you mad at mama? You mad at daddy or something? And so yeah, there might be a time to stand up and rise and don't get to the bottom of it. Like y'all mentioned before, it could be, might not necessarily be jealousy, or you just that's part of it.
Yeah.
Some jealousy, some just bitter.
Yeah.
You upset with your life, so you don't like your life. Do something about it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I can help you there. Oh, hold on, but got another caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Cassandra and I'm calling from California. How are you?
Hey, doing just fine, Sam. Go ahead with your comment here.
Okay, I got a couple of them because I've been listening to the show.
All right.
So at the beginning, you guys talked about like the family members having issues with one another and then taking it out on the children. I agree with the pastor. Like, um, a lot of them do it. You know what I'm saying? Take it out on the kids because that is the only way that they can get to the parents. Because the parents may, brush it off or this don't bother me type stuff. But you mess with my kids, now you really got my ruffles, my feathers ruffled or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of that, I think, personally, stems from jealousy.
Mm.
And it could be like, okay, well, you doing this with your life. You doing that with your life. I don't have this. I don't have that. Guess what? The other caller that called in, Jermaine, he made a very good point. We got the same two hands, the same 2 feet, the same amount of time in a day. Just like I work, you can go work and get the same thing for your kids or whatever, if that's the case. A lot of the times it is. Another point, people aren't accountable, you know what I'm saying, for their actions, and it's easy to blame the next person. Well, you did this to me when I was younger, or you did that to me when I was younger, or whatever the case may be. Or so I'm gonna hold a grudge against you, but not only am I hold a grudge against you, I'm gonna hold a grudge against your kids and your kids' kids. Instead of, you know what, this is how I could have contributed to the issue. Let's squash it. Let's move on from there. They don't want to do that. Nobody want to be held accountable, and I think that's a lot of the problem. Instead of pointing the fingers, look at yourself. That's why they can't get right with God, because they're worried about what the next person is doing. That's just my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we appreciate that, Cassandra. Yeah, yes. It's just jealousy. It's something that seemed to be the theme right there. Jealousy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, what? Like I said, yo, somebody help me understand. You know what? And we might. I think there might be a part two to this here. I wanted to touch on that blended family thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know you have the man have his set of kids, wife, the woman have her set of kids, and they come together. Now that right there, that can if you're not careful, that can really cause a family feud there, because there's this, let's say the husband, the husband might have to get on the wife's kids about something, and she might think, oh man, why you always picking on my kids for?
Mm-hmm.
You always picking on my child.
But you know what? I think I'm gonna insert something real quick. I'm not sorry. I'm not trying not to cut you off.
Yeah.
When you become a blended family, his kids become her kids become his kids, and they should be treated equally.
Oh yeah.
Now, you're not going to have, I'm going to treat this one the same exact way, because everybody is different, so they might have to be handled different. But if you're going to come down on one, you come down on all. It doesn't matter if it's his, hers, or anything like that. And I don't like the labels on children. That's just my stepchild. That's
Yeah.
just my, you just my step this or step that. That shouldn't even be in the vocabulary. And I've witnessed, other people say that, and it does something to a child. You set as a parent, you set the tone for how that child is going to be, how that child is going to respect you with the way you talk to them, the way you treat them. And I don't, back in our days when we were growing up, it's do as I say, not as I do. Respect is earned. It's not just given because you're in a position of authority over somebody. Respect goes both ways. That's just my opinion.
Yes, I do agree. Yes. Hey, Tom, you can unmute your mic and speak.
How you
And
brothers doing tonight?
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Cassandra. I want to thank you again for calling in, and again, don't let that be your last time, y'all. Y'all more than welcome to call in and give us your input here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, man. All right. All right. A-Town. Hold on one second, A-Town. Pastor Bull, you want to respond to what she was saying? Then we'll go to A-Town here on StreamYard.
Yes, I absolutely agree that I think that when you bring in blended families together, that first thing is to make sure that there's an understanding between the husband and wife. Of course, my wife and I, when we got married, we brought in, we were a blended family. She had children, and I had children coming into the marriage. And the first thing we did was we vowed that we would not allow our children to come in between us. And so once we set that straight, then we could both parent our children together. And I agree. I don't think there should be labels. I think that when you agree to marry somebody that have children, then those they need to be your children. I don't believe in there being two different households under the same roof. And so I completely agree. And I think it's almost like you have to go overboard to make sure that the children understand that, because they might already be coming out of a situation that wasn't so good. And so I believe that wholeheartedly, that when you marry a woman or a man with children, they become your children, and I believe that they ought to be treated as such, and they should not feel like there's a difference between the children because of blood.
Oh yeah. Hey Tom, you going there unmute and comment.
How you brothers doing tonight? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yes. I was wanting to know, I see what you guys are talking about, the family feud and stuff like that. But I'm just speaking on like coming from a black household, right? Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to
So
know
you
where did we learn this from? Like, to like other cultures, I see them eat together. They sit down, they eat together. But I see a lot of black broken families. They don't sit down at the table together. Like, where did we learn this from? To be so distant toward, and it ain't. I'm not speaking on no race thing or nothing like that. I'm just saying what I see.
yeah, you
And I
want to take
mean,
it,
it
you want
comes
to go.
from me too. It comes from me too. Like, from not being raised that way, I don't feel right even like, you know, sitting down at the table with, it's just not there. Like, I mean, do you get
Yeah,
where I'm going with this? Like, what happened? Like, where did we learn this from? Who separated us? And I know a quote from, I don't know if that's British, and I know the motto was something like divide and conquer. Like, to divide and conquer was a big thing.
yeah. Oh, you want to tackle that, Pastor Bolden?
Yeah, I'll tackle that. The first thing we have to keep in mind is that when we're dealing with the breakdown of a family, that this
Hmm.
is it. It is a spiritual war, and it's really the devil that's behind it. But it's so many issues that goes into play in this particular subject of and what he's speaking about not coming together at the dinner table anymore. Well, in this society today, people have so many distractions and they allow so many distractions in their home. When I was growing up, there was one TV in the home that was in the living room. The children didn't have that. Was when I was growing up. Children didn't have TVs in their room. They didn't have their own, their whole house in their room. And so that was to encourage family time. And so we sat at the dinner table and we ate together. Now, I think the brother said that, he wasn't raised that way and currently he's not doing that. Well, here's the thing, if we know what's right, and we know maybe we're lacking in that area, then it's not too late to start.
Right.
It's not too late to start. And to me, I think that that's a vital part of family and not having all of the division that we have among family members today. Come to the dinner table and eat and sit down and discuss what's bothering you and hash those things out so that you don't get grown and bitter and you're not going before the Lord and Him not hearing your prayer because you got something in your heart towards your own brother or your own sister. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, I think the dinner table is a good place to start to bring families together like they used to. To me,
Right.
when I was growing up, dinner was sacred. That was a sacred time. You know, but again, I'm gonna just say this and let you have it. A lot of that starts with the parents. If the marriage is going to putt, then the children can scatter, if that makes any sense. If the
Right.
parents aren't sitting at the table together eating, then a lot of times the children aren't doing it as well. And so, we bring the children into the world as parents. And it's our responsibility as parents to set the atmosphere for how they behave and for how they see things. So if the parents are sleeping in different rooms, or if the parents are separated and divided and just barely getting along, then the children will pick that same behavior up, and it'll be something in between them as well.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what much I can add from that, but yeah,
Yes, sir. You answered my question.
like I say, you didn't grow up eating at the dinner table together, whatever you ate, you can snap it.
Hmm.
You can
Yeah.
start fresh, do your own thing. Like you say,
Yes, sir.
what's right. You know the right thing to do. Go there and do it. It's like on the past show we did a show on man says versus Bible says. It's okay that man tradition, but you know the truth. You know the way to go.
Hmm.
Hey, let's go with
Hmm.
that. And so yeah, like I
Okay.
said, it's a good time to start over. Start your own tradition. In the right way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anything else
sir.
you
I
want to add?
appreciate that. 'Cause, yeah, on how you said, just like a lot of I can see like a lot of outside influence can cause that to happen too in the household.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, maybe hmm. Yeah, I wanted to yeah, I wanted to cover the in-laws causing problems too, but we might not have no time to
Yeah, jump. Oh, you ain't
dig
got
into
enough
that.
time. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
well, Lord
Well.
bless they the same. We're probably digging in that next week. Yeah, that yeah, them in-laws can, especially the
Oh
in-laws
yeah.
live in the same zip
I
code as you do.
yes. I got to talk about that. Look, yes, sir. Yes. But I
Oh
appreciate you
yeah.
guys for doing what y'all doing. God bless y'all.
Oh,
Have a good night.
thank you, sir.
All right now.
All right. Yeah, we definitely yeah, God bless they the same. We had to we'll tackle this subject some more. As I got this in my notes, though, the in-laws causing problems. And so that that
Hmm.
that that'll that'll cause a feud for sure.
Hmm.
Especially if they live, with, like I said, they live within a few minutes of you, and that can really cause a ripple there. And no, back to this year, dealing with the blended family.
Hmm.
Now, well, y'all don't mind if I just keep it raw and real. I ain't, like I said, I ain't jump. Well, yeah, they here, they here. They don't know who I'm talking about. But I, I heard somebody tell me, they married somebody. They had this man had so many kids. They had about five plus, a little bit over five kids or whatever. They came in with their two. Now she had her two kids. And then one time she told me, um, if I'd have known all the kids were going to move in here, I never would have married him.
Hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, I said, boy, that's some stuff to say. I ain't saying that. I just took it in and just listened to it. Now I guess some kind of way he must got custody over him or whatever, and they so they got them all don't live on the same roof. But I'm thinking to myself sometimes, okay, well, The number of kids he got, he could have said maybe your two or three, that might be too much for him. You know, he see he might. I don't care if he had 10 kids from a previous marriage or whatever. You know, to 10 or 15 kids or whatever. You know you know they existed,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to come and move in. We talking about minors. We ain't talking about no grown kids. These minors here.
Mm.
So I don't know. That's some. I just thought that you know his kids, your kids, his kids. I like I said, like the Cassandra said, that they're supposed to be all in one boat. But you know, and that right there, if a person feel that way, oh man, oh this person got so many kids. Oh, I don't know if I want to marry them. Well, it's too late now. You
Mm-hmm.
ain't, and that right there can cause real. Now you
Yeah.
already come into the marriage with resentment for
Mm-hmm.
them kids. The kids ain't did nothing to you. Now you got that mindset, then you want to turn around like they the problem. No, you they ain't before they even got started. You already had an issue with them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that blend of family and plus, or I know for some women it might be tougher. They might have a child, and they get married to a man, and like I mentioned before, the man got to straighten that son or daughter out. They say, what? Well, why you so mean to him?
Mm-hmm.
And you keep saying that, it go make that man think twice. And man, why am I going through this for? I'm 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 treating her child as if it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now just because I got to get on him or her, that don't mean I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
But you get so offensive. When your child getting corrected, you know, I don't know that too can cause a little of rift in the family
Yeah.
up under your roof.
Yeah. And Brother Harold, I think, people really, you have to really be mature, really be mature to be able to pull it off. And I honestly, I think it all boils down to how solid the relationship is between the husband and wife,
Oh
to,
yeah,
to whether that will work. Just addressing what you were just saying earlier about, the getting married and basically not as accepting of the your spouse's children. Like, to me, I don't know, me personally, this is just my own personal view of it. I don't know how you can love a person enough to marry them and not love their offspring. I
right,
don't I
right.
don't understand that. You know, I don't understand how you won't have the same. If the love is where it's supposed to be, you're gonna love those children just like they're yours, and you're gonna wish that they were yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. To me, anything short of that, it just seems like it's more of an arrangement.
Yeah.
You know, that's that's what it seems like to me. But I don't understand how you can marry a person and love them genuinely and not love what came from them. I don't understand it. But again, the word says the Lord let us know in these last days the love of many would wax cold. And sometimes people are getting married for the wrong reason. And I'm telling you, a blended family will expose it faster than anything.
Okay. And one question, I know no time getting short here. Now that but all this jealousy amongst the siblings, whatever, the siblings taking out their anger on their sister and brother kids. Now, is that part of the sword, like in what Jesus was saying in Matthew? Think not bring peace, but bring a sword. Could that possibly be a way to, you know, it, is that possibly a sword to cause that separation that maybe needs to be there?
It depends on if it's for a spiritual reason.
Right.
If the rift is between a person that's really sold out to the Lord and a person that's not living for the Lord per se, then I could see that being the sword, if that make any sense, the division that the Lord Himself caused. But if it's just because I'm jealous of you just because I got something in my heart towards you just because, then to me that's not the Lord. That's something demonic that's taking place. That's really meant to cause the person to lose their soul. Because the Bible tells us in the 5th chapter of the book of Matthew that if you bring your gift to the altar and you remember that your brother have anything against you, leave your gift there and go and be reconciled to your brother. That lets us know we don't have a relationship with God if we can't have a decent relationship with people. If we can't if we can't solve issues here and get over our junk here, how in the world are we gonna go to heaven? We know God ain't letting the foolishness in heaven.
Hmm.
So to me, we need to obey the Bible. If you feel like somebody got something, your sibling or whoever have something in your heart, their heart towards you, or you have something in your heart, then work it out. It's time out for all of this faking. And then it's crazy because people will go to church and praise God and then come right home and be hateful towards people. That'll
Oh,
never make sense to me.
yes, indeed. You got a couple of minutes here. You want to give the people your email address or what information they can contact you or how they can listen to your pages on YouTube?
All right. My web address is www.onetruth.tv. That's www the number one truth.tv. And you'll find all my information on there. If you go there, you'll see all the other information.
All right, everyone. I'm gonna tell you this quick little thing, then we get up out of here. I remember I had an aunt of mine who married into the family. We was over at our in an uncle house. I had to be in like 11 or 12 or whatever. Now there was a bug, and I guess they was freaking out about it. And I was nearby. I took it out. I don't know if I used the back of my hand, a fist or something. I killed the bug. What they was complaining about, and you know what she gonna say with a smile on her face? Oh, it's okay. He's nasty anyway.
Hmm.
Boy, who's nasty? What? Now these sanctified folks, man. I mean, okay, who's nasty? Who was nasty? I'm talking about you, my dad nasty? My
Hmm.
mom nasty? Oh, he's nasty anyway. Yeah, me, I ain't think nothing of it. I just them the Christian folks for you, boy. I tell you. Well, y'all, we gonna get out of here. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Raw Spiel, and all bless say the same. We'll do part two of this here, focusing on the in-laws causing problems in the household. And once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. God bless, and y'all have a good one.